This video is sponsored by Full Reptile Collective, brought to you by Dan Hardy. Head over to their website at fullreptile.co.uk where you can find anything from training gear, t-shirts, hoodies, all the way to coffee. For an exclusive 10% off, use Dan Said So at checkout. Make sure to also check out their YouTube channel for some of the best MMA content out there, bar my own. Let's get back to the video. Okay, UFC 272, Covington Masvidal, another stacked fight. Whole stacked card. Bryce Mitchell is facing Edson Barboza. Going to be, in my opinion, his toughest test to date after still remaining undefeated after beating Andre Fili in a very back and forth fight. Andre Fili showing absolutely brilliant jiu-jitsu. I know he was controlled for about 9 minutes of the entire fight, but he reversed him 3 times. He hurt him striking. He landed a good flying knee. He showed that there's holes in Bryce Mitchell's game, even though he's undefeated. And it's going to be the toughest test by a mile facing someone like Edson Barboza. Even though Edson's coming to the end of the career, he's still looking quite sharp. He's still making the weight. He's still physically very scary in this division. And he's still, to me, got the best switch kick in MMA. It's going to be an absolute war, this one, in my opinion.
Definitely. And definitely worth noting, this is Bryce Mitchell's first fight since, the Andre Fili fight was October 2020. So he took quite a bit of time off. I don't remember if that was for like injury or just personal reasons or COVID or whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that no one wants to fight.
Yeah.
He's that annoying Ryan Hall type of guy. He's looking to take this fight to the ground 1000%. If he gets you to the ground, he just seems like he's going to have the advantage over almost anyone. He's just that next level of grappler. And we see that, he's got 7 takedowns he had against Andre Fili. He had 3 takedowns against Charles Rosa. And those are 2 guys who are very, comfortable on the ground. And he had 5 sub attempts on Charles Rosa. If Charles Rosa, he's a high level jiu-jitsu guy, a lot of people get subbed in that moment. So it's intriguing because, Barboza, been around the block, very experienced, still looks sharp in my opinion. I know the Giga fight didn't necessarily go his way, but, Mitchell doesn't have that type of scary kickboxing style, the striking that, makes you fear him. He's going to go to the ground. So it makes him a little bit more one-dimensional. With that being said, though, I don't know, man. This is a scary fight. I really like what Bryce Mitchell's doing. The names, like he's climbing the ranks slowly, getting those names out there. The Charles Rosa win's pretty good. The Andre Fili win's pretty good. But this is a big leap in competition for him. So I think Barboza is gonna probably expose him on the feet. I think if he can hang him out to dry for a little bit when he shoots for those takedowns, stuff him for the first round or so, it can definitely, you get frustrated, you start panicking a little bit. And if Edson's on the feet, he's definitely going to expose him. So I kind of like Edson in this spot. I think it's a really big jump up in competition for Mitchell, especially being on such a big layoff. But it's, I got to check what the odds are, but it's got to be super close because Bryce Mitchell is very good.
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell is a very, very high-level grappler, and he has great takedown attacks, wrestling, chain wrestles very well, turns a corner, uses his shoulder a lot in the hips to just rip him down with single legs. But the one concern for me is there's only one person that I can think of that has ever caused Edson problem with takedowns, and that's Khabib. All the subs he's been, like when Tony Ferguson stroked him, he didn't get taken down by Tony. It was a scramble, and he snatched the neck up. So they're the opportunities I can see Bryce winning. I can't see Bryce doing what he did to Edson, like he did to Andre Fili, just chain wrestling him down over and over again, because his takedown defense is similar, in my opinion, to Aldo. Aldo just literally just brushes you off, stands back up and lands a leg kick and says, "Do it again. I dare you," kind of thing. And Edson is an elite striker. Bryce is a good striker. Now, the layoff might, we don't know what Bryce is going to look like with that layoff, but since October 2020, Edson still fought 3 times. He's won 2 of them. One against Matt Mirkani, one against Shane Burgos, which was a really odd, he punched him, took a couple of second delay, which was quite scary, wasn't it? And then he just fell backwards into the cage and just collapsed. And he was doing well against Giga. He was very competitive against Giga until he lost. And apparently that was one of the worst weight cuts he's ever had against the Giga fight. So, that fight was would have played off. But he's only won 6. He's out of the last 9 fights, he's won 3. And they're the problems. He lost against Danny Gay, lost against Paul Felder, lost against Justin Gaethje, Kevin Lee, Khabib, obviously. So there's a lot of brilliant names on there, but he is still beating people like Dariush, Dan Hooker are on that list. Makwan, as I said, and Shane Burgos. Makwan's an okay name to have on, not really, like seeing his trajectory, but Shane Burgos I really rate. These sort of guys are, in a straight kickboxing fight, would all school Bryce Mitchell. But they don't have the takedown defense that Edson does. And that's where I'm a little bit... If he can't get Edson down, he's absolutely fucked.
100%. 100%. And you know, Edson used to fight at 155. This is him down at 1. He's a big guy. Like, if he makes weight and the cut goes fine, he's going to be the stronger guy. He has the size advantage. He has the reach advantage. I could definitely see Mitchell 100% struggling to get him down. And again, when you don't get your game plan going, fighters tend to panic a little bit. They don't know what to do. And if they don't have that stand-up game to go with it, they're screwed. They're 100% screwed against a guy like Edson Barboza, who finished Shane Burgos. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's a 3-round fight as well. So he can just let his hands go. He knows he's the perfect 3-round fighter, Edson. 5 rounds, he'll slow down dramatically just because of his, the muscle density of him. The lactic build up, he just falls apart in the 4th and 5th. It's just too much, like his output and his style. But the Paul Felder fight, I actually thought he won. It's a split decision loss. Danny Gay split decision loss. So you could argue he's won 5 out of, they are all highly competitive. The new era of guys, other than Paul, obviously, but Danny Gay, Shane Burgos, they're all new era. Bryce is definitely new era, but again, I only see him snatching necks. I see him picking him off in a scramble, because if Andre Philly can reverse you, granted, a couple years ago, he's definitely going to have tightened up his game. But Edson's so underrated on the ground. He's a black belt as well. There's no way, even if he does eventually get him down, to me, that he's going to hold him down there and control him like he did for 9 minutes against Andre Philly. I think it's going to be a lot harder for him. And I think the punishment he's going to take to even land a takedown might mess with him, might mess with his rhythm a little bit, trying to, get the chain wrestling going. He's going to have to make it really dirty, in my opinion, get him against the fence, try and grab a single, because if he tries a double on Edson's just going to hop right out of the way. He's got incredible lateral movement. You're not just going to pin him in one place. He doesn't stop moving. And every time you come in for a takedown, bang, there's a calf kick. It's going to really add up on that lead leg for Bryce.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point too, this being a 3-round fight. If it's a 5-round fight, for sure, that's if Edson gasses a little bit later on, Bryce would probably be the more durable guy in rounds 4 and 5 and could maybe get the submission at that point. But 3 rounds, Edson's masterclass. I think he'll take him to school. This is one of those, I think this is like a levels fight. We're naming all the guys Edson's fought. They're all studs. They're all absolute killers. Some of these guys are like top 5, top 3 guys. So, this is another day in the shop for Edson, and Bryce is going to be on a big uphill climb. I don't know what the odds are on this one. I would imagine Barboza's favored.
It's pick'em for me.
Yeah.
It's a pick'em in the UK, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll be betting heavily on Edson then. I think he gets the job done. Again, I don't think he'll get the finish here. We haven't seen Bryce really tested that much with the chin, but he's seemingly a durable guy. So yeah, Edson in a 3-round affair. Decision all day. Love that.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So we've both got Edson, guys. Let us know in the comments who you've got for this one, if you disagree, and if you do think that Bryce can win in an alternative way we haven't thought of. Perfect.